Welcome back to At the Forefront in San Antonio. Today we'll be continuing our discussion with Neil Foote, Forefront Living Board Chair, and we have a special guest, future resident and retired U.S. Army Major General Chuck Rodriguez.
Welcome to At the Forefront, where we explore the groundbreaking innovations and developments shaping the future of aging. We're hitting the road to showcase how older adults are embracing change, staying active, and thriving in their golden years. Here's your host, CEO of Forefront Living, Tim Mallett.
Neil, in another session with you, you talked a lot about quality and governance and the board's commitment there. Mission, vision, and values for the organization. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we go by the DISC acronym, which is Diversity, Integrity, Service, and Compassion, right? And those are reinforced every single day at this organization. We start our day in Dallas and even here in San Antonio with a mission moment where we're just sharing as a team, to talk about those things that are important to us and why we do what we do before we dive into the busy, stressful parts of the day for this organization. So those become values that are integrated throughout the whole team, through the board and through the executive team and through everyone who works at the organization. So I think those are really important to us in not only how we run the organization, but also how we provide the care for our communities, whether they're in independent living, assisted living, or memory care, or any other services that we provide.
Talk to us about the importance of that 15 minutes. You mentioned that the organization spends about 15 minutes each day and begins with the focus on mission, vision, values. Why is that important?
It's important. One, it helps people take a breath and understand the importance of their role in the organization, right? Because it's easy for people, and we've all worked at organizations where you go in and you start your job, and 8, 12, 16 hours later you leave and starts all over again without understanding what's my role in this organization. I think that the times that I've had to observe that as a board member have been really rewarding and actually very calming, right? Because you see that you're working as a team, you see that you're working as this broader organization that has a mission and a vision and goals, and that I think has really been important in helping to set the tone of we all have to work together. If we believe the same things, we can work so much together to accomplish those goals. And I think that's so important. And Chuck, I know that's the kind of service that you've had throughout your whole career. So we're just glad you're part of the community here with us, and because it really plays into what we represent.
So Chuck, what a great setup for a question for you. Why Bella Vida? Why choose Bella Vida as your new home?
My wife and I have looked at many different kind of communities over the past dozen years. And some are great for some respects, and some we had reservations. But when we saw Bella Vida kind of pop out, literally, on a newspaper article, I immediately said, let me look into that. And she said, well, okay, let's just see. Because we've been looking. And what really caught our attention, mine especially, is the nonprofit nature of this, just as you were saying, Neil. Mm-hmm. I teach nonprofit management at Our Lady of the Lake University for the past 3 years. A central tenet about nonprofits is that it is first about the mission. Yes. And if it's not related to the mission, then we shouldn't be doing it. And so if it's for Bella Vida, for the Forefront leadership team, if it's not about taking care of the residents and providing what was promised, then it's kind of off the charts and really to get ourselves back on the rails. And so that's huge, because in either the for-profit or maybe in a community that has kind of lost its way, I understand the Forefront is very rooted in the Presbyterian background, and so it's faith-informed. And that means it's even more committed, because there's a root based on a commitment to one another, community, and to a higher cause. And so that's what really drew us.
And I think that's important to mention. And Neil, you were part of really the rebranding of the organization. We were once an organization called Presbyterian Communities and Services, And as we looked at expanding our mission, we looked at values based in faith. Do you want to talk about that process?
Yeah,
Neil?
no, Chuck, you said something that was really critical part of the conversation of going from an organization known for just its faith-based values, but really looking at how do we grow the organization with those same faith-based values, but reach a broader community so that everyone has an opportunity to share in the joy in the case in all of our communities without any bias or preference of any kind. So, yeah, I mean, visit our communities in Dallas, Fort Worth, and I think what's evolving here in San Antonio and in Plano is we just have this wonderful richness in community from different faiths, different values, but coming and sharing their lives with each other, which ultimately is a wonderful thing. Community is driven by faith. And we had some really good conversations from folks who were concerned that we might stray away from it. But I think going back to how we start our day as an organization, which goes to what you're teaching your young people about, well, if you're going to be a nonprofit, where's your heart and soul, right? If you don't have a heart and soul, then you can't believe and motivate people to believe in what you believe in. And so I think that driving mission really helps drive some of that faith and belief that we can have shared values and shared community.
Chuck, I'll ask you, as we talk about community, San Antonio. How long have you lived in San Antonio?
Well, my wife and I have been here since 1994, and so we've just passed the 30-year mark. And so the good news is the house is paid, and so that was one of the driving factors. We have a little more flexibility now. But 30 years, and so this is a great city.
What makes San Antonio great?
Well, as a matter of fact, just this week, Forbes magazine came out with the top 25 cities for retirees. This just hit the San Antonio Express News this morning. And San Antonio is one, College Station's the other. And the real pros about San Antonio, and I share that sense of pros, is that it's a great friendly community. If Texas is the state about the friendly state, we in San Antonio like to think of ourselves as the heart of that friendliness, deep in the heart of Texas kind of thing. And so friendly is important. And I think you'll find throughout the United States when people talk about San Antonio, they think first of the food. We're also the taco capital of the universe, okay? But also the friendliness of the people. And we don't want to change. We want to maintain, sustain that. The second reason why San Antonio is really favored in the ratings, they only rated 25, and San Antonio is one of two in the state of Texas. Only two made it from Texas. And that is because of the medical care opportunities. In other words, there's a lot of physicians, a lot of trials for research, a lot of clinical care, both physically and mental psychologically. The military medical community is right there at Fort Sam Houston. All of the soldiers who are battlefield medics, the Navy corpsmen, get trained here in San Antonio, all of them. It's just amazing to see. And so this is a military community, but it's also a health-based community. And the research here is, bar none, excellent. So that means a lot of opportunities for care.
You mentioned earlier you were attracted by the nonprofit structure of this organization, but can you talk to us a little bit about the location and what's around us and what was attractive to you when you were making that decision?
Like anybody in retail, location, location, location. If you're on the wrong side of the intersection, you're probably not going to do so well as if you're on the right side of the intersection. This is in the middle of the intersection. The community which has been built up around it includes a wonderful shopping and entertainment area called the Rim, which is just at the base of the hill. And the Dominion, which is a long-established, a very upscale community, is just up the street. There's great walking opportunities. Friedrich Wilderness Park is only about 1.5 miles away. Just park your car, and you can take the easy route, or you could kill yourself on the high wilderness trails. But all of that is right here. It's built around and already up and going. Fiesta Texas is, if you like roller coasters, it's just down the hill. At least you can put the grandkids on them. And so it's really, really terrific. It's all right here.
Well, I hear that Fiesta Texas has fireworks regularly too.
Almost every night. And if you're high enough, or you have that great line of sight, which I understand we'll have at Bella Vida, it's going to be right there for us to see. Sometimes they're loud. When everything is still and quiet, you can hear it 7 miles away. And so that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia. When we were in the early marketing phases, the very first residents that were reserved were all facing that way, and I could not understand why. I heard it was the fireworks. How has your experience been so far working with this team? It's a big decision. There's a lot to consider. You entered here, you've been to this marketing center. Talk to us about your interactions with the Bella Vida team.
The team here at the center is bar none just friendly. My wife comments regularly how nice the folks are. Some have been established in the industry for a while, some are newer, and yet every one of them is just. I mean, they're living this friendliness thing I mentioned, and you can't beat that. They know you by your first name, even if you forgot your name tag, and you can't remember. But it's a really great team that goes out of their way to just make sure that we're if we have a question, they're going to get an answer.
Neil, and I've said it earlier, you have a lot of things outside of here that you do. It's nice to be with two gentlemen both who are committed to teaching and passing on knowledge. You're volunteering here. I would say very much you're serving alongside of the rest of the team, and you're giving back to the community. I guess why and what excites you the most about all of this?
Well, we were having a conversation earlier about the value of giving back to the community. So that certainly has been instilled with me since I was a kid. So I had family, and certainly who were always involved in the community. And so throughout my career, I think that's been a really big part of it. So joining this board, in fact, I joined this board because I was on another board. He was also on the Presbyterian Services Board. He said, "Hey, Neil, check this out." And so that was 8 years ago. And here I am, serving as board chair and working with this unbelievable group of individuals on the board, working with this just fascinating project and executive team, and employees throughout the organization that have this sense of care and passion about what they're doing. So for me, this is, I enjoy every minute that I've been able to see it. To your point, Chuck, a lot of nonprofits, they might grow and then they just kind of sustain, right? And they never really reach any peak, or they struggle. And I've been involved in some of those organizations. It's been amazing to be part of an organization that to say, here's where we were 8 years ago, here's where we are now. Oh, and guess what? There are about several other things that will take us even further, that, again, contribute back to the mission of why, again, a volunteer board. What do you want to do as a board member? Be part of something that's exciting, be part of something where your expertise is valued, and I think that's important. Be part of something where you can look back over time, whether I'm on this board or not, and say I was a part of that. So that's why I'm excited to carve out some of my time to be part of this exciting project.
We appreciate you serving, and our time is wrapping up. So a final question for you, Chuck. What are you looking forward to the most?
I think the care-free aspect of living in a community like Bella Vida is important. The other is the community is known to help seniors, because as you grow older, you may become more insular. So that community opportunity right around the corner, right outside, is even beyond a cul-de-sac where we live now, because there's so many more people right there who you can call friends and lifelong friends. At least it'll seem that way.
It will be that way. that is a promise that I can extend to you. As much as you want to form new relationships, the opportunities are endless. So thank you both for joining us. Or thank you for joining us in San Antonio again. Look forward to seeing you soon.